Welcome to The Beat with Ari Melber. Tonight we are reporting here from the Supreme Court of the United States, where protesters have gathered ever since this draft opinion came down late last night, a rare leak from inside the Supreme Court. And today we learned from the Chief Justice himself that this is authentic and true, which is to say there are the votes as of February to overturn Roe v. Wade. On tonight's program, we are going to cover this from all angles with legal experts, advocates, and some of the protesters that we've been hearing from right here at the court. All of this started with the big leak when the news broke last night.
Just breaking in the last few minutes is this. The United States Supreme Court has voted to overturn abortion rights. Draft opinion shows.
Politico drops a bombshell on the U.S. legal and political system with an unprecedented leak.
Chief Justice John Roberts confirming in the last hour the leak of a bombshell draft opinion.
The withering takedown of the Roe v. Wade precedent.
I think the codification of Roe makes a lot of sense.
Cities coast to coast now bracing for mass protest this afternoon as the biggest ever breach in Supreme Court history.
Roe cannot go! Roe cannot go! Keep abortion legal! Keep abortion legal!
We will vote to protect a woman's right to choose, and every American is going to see which side every senator stands on.
Whoever did this leak should be prosecuted and should go to jail for a very long time.
I am here because I am angry, and I am here because the United States Congress can change all of this. Yes.
Today is a seismic day in American history as we witness the fallout rippling across the nation. We join you here broadcasting live from the Supreme Court. Hundreds of protesters continue to gather. We can see and hear them right now. Many protesting what is now this looming decision. We'll hear directly from some of those protesters who've been gathering here since the news broke last night, as well as lawmakers, women's rights activists, legal experts, and former Planned Parenthood Chief Cecile Richards joins us in a few moments. But our coverage begins right now with Caroline Fredrickson, who served as the top lawyer for NARAL Pro-Choice America and a former leader of the American Constitution Society, as well as one of our analysts on politics and policy. All of that at play here, Democratic strategist Juanita Tolliver. Thanks to both of you for joining us here at the court. What does this draft decision mean to you, Juanita?
Look, Ari, I want to start by just reminding all of your viewers that abortion is still legal. It's still legal if you want and need that service and access to basic health care today. But it felt like a double gut punch. Look, I'm a black woman in this country. And so I felt as though one of my basic rights, one of our basic rights, was being immediately taken away. It's something that, I mean, it's just deeply personal because within one generation, we're going to see the right to access an abortion given and then taken back. And I can't shake the fact that Justice Sotomayor let us know that this was the direction the court was headed when they ruled to allow SB 8 to go into effect. When she said the justices were essentially digging their heads in the sand, they were ignoring decades and decades of precedent. And honestly, at this point, I think we're all right to question the legitimacy of the court for doing that, for ignoring decades of precedent.
Caroline, you have just extensive experience in this area. What did you feel when you first saw and read this draft opinion, and what should people take from it today?
Well, I'd say it was shocking, but I wasn't shocked. Because I actually don't think they had their heads in the sand on precedent. What they actually were doing was very aggressively overturning it in a way that we haven't seen. So specific about the Roe versus Wade's faulty reasoning. They said 50 years have gone by. This has been a precedent that has affected and regulated the lives of so many women and men in the United States. Has created an ability for women to enter the workforce in new ways, to have a better standard of living, and they want to overturn all of that. And it's true that we have not yet seen abortion made illegal across the country. But when this decision comes out, there are many states that have laws that are going to go into effect that are going to end abortion for so many women in the United States.
As you say, the way this is written, it does that. They know it does that. Both of our panelists here are going to stay, and I want to turn and just do a little quick breakdown of what's actually in here. If you follow the news, you probably heard about this last night. We're keeping an eye on all the reaction and protesters that continue to gather here at the court. But what is in these 67 pages? Well, it's a long ruling. I want to give you 3 takeaways right now. First, the decision takes a sledgehammer to about 50 years of precedent, overruling Roe v. Wade and all later cases based on that landmark ruling that recognized a woman's right to choose. Justice Alito's draft overrules Roe and declares it has always been, quote, egregiously wrong from the start. The draft shows that a majority of the current court supported this ruling, ending Roe entirely as of February. Second, while nearly everyone sees this draft as an attack on abortion rights, people know that, I want you to understand that Justice Alito, in this still private draft until it leaked last night, claims the court would actually do this and still be neutral on the issue, that overturning Roe would not mean that justices are critical of abortion itself. That may sound absurd, but he writes that while some believe that, quote, abortion kills a human being because prenatal life must have human rights, the court's decision to allow abortion bans for that reason is, quote, not based on any view of whether a fetus should be treated as a human life. If that sounds illogical, like they're trying to have it both ways, that's because they are. And third and finally, before I bring back our experts, what we were just discussing, what will this ruling do? Well, it will legally begin automatic new abortion bans in at least 13 states where there are already rules that trigger those kind of bans in the event that the Supreme Court ends Roe, which this draft opinion does. Does that impact you in your state? We have more details on that later in our broadcast tonight. When will this begin? Well, we know the court usually releases all of its rulings by late June in a term, sometimes early July. So the final ruling will be out in weeks. The wording may change from this draft, but there's been no public signal that any of the 5 votes willing to end Roe in February of this year, after 49 years on the books, would reverse themselves in this matter of months. That's our legal breakdown of 3 takeaways. I bring the panel back in. Caroline, your ability to expound on any of those points, including what many people want to know who don't follow the news necessarily every day because they're busy trying to work and live. How will this affect them?
Well, I think despite Justice Alito's attempt to distinguish other areas of the law that won't be affected, gay rights, for example, access to contraception, what he does in this decision is he undermines the foundation of those decisions as well. They're based on the same legal reasoning, as well as a host of other decisions affecting personal family life, parents and their children. And I think we really have to have an understanding of what this means for our society, the potential for radical changes, for a real constriction of people's fundamental rights. And, what he does in here, which is so misleading, is he tries to say this is really only about abortion. But, the law just doesn't work that way. We work in a system where there is legal reasoning that is applied from precedent to precedent. And once you strike down the foundational argument underpinning any one of those decisions, you strike them all down, essentially.
Let's build on that point, Caroline, because you've worked in this area for so long, and I always mention the full disclosure. You were my boss in the Senate many years ago, so I have to get that in for journalism. But you've advocated on these issues. When Justice Alito writes here that they can do this, end Roe, but your right to privacy stays, your right to contraception stays, your right to intimate sexual contact, because it was only relatively recently that the court said, for example, sodomy laws were tossed. There are states that tried to regulate and criminally sanction whether someone had intimate relations with someone of the same gender, for example. When Justice Alito says, you'll lose this, but keep all of that, your response is what?
Yeah, it's, can I say BS? You can say that, right? Yeah, exactly. It's flim-flam, it's specious, it's ridiculous. I mean, just like he says that this case is the Brown versus Board of Education, this is actually the Plessy. This case is the Plessy for women.
You're talking about the distinction between the case that established equality versus the original case that tried to say separate but equal.
Exactly, because that case is the one in which the court said the states have the right to deny rights to people of color. In this one, Alito is saying the states have the right to deny fundamental freedoms and rights to women. Those are the two cases that should be equated, not Brown and this decision.